Phase 6. Beast with a human heart.
Welcome to the house that West built. He's been channeling the power of Zed through these halls for almost a century. The corrupted's influence is seeping through the cracks in the walls. The house is dreaming of being alive.
Welcome back to the bowels of the West Manor, where dreams are coming true. We finished the last level by plummeting a great distance, which usually means we end up in a retro level. Funny how that's an apt metaphor for what that does to the quality of the gameplay. Oh, we got a switch before us. Let's see what that does. Oh shit, someone get Rick a Fez. Ah, and ridiculous death-dealing machinery. Seems to be our obstacle for this particular retro expedition. I can't imagine what any of this is meant to accomplish besides slaughtering the Doctor's own monsters, I guess? Ah, this hideous fetus creature can be stun-locked as long as we hit it first. If we hit it enough, it gets a disgusting bruised look at it. I moved away so that it would have an opportunity to show its attacks. It vomits at us. Or it can swing back and forth, which is uninterruptible. But it's dead. Now coming up next here, a little bug is going to fly in from the top right, and it is the hardest enemy in the game.
Open your eyes! Oh, Ricky. You let me down.
If we try to jump up and fight it, we die. If we try to attack it from the ground, we die.
I'm sorry, sack of shit.
The only winning move here is not to play. By the way, there's no checkpoint up to that point in the level, so if you die, you go back to the beginning.
You still haven't answered my question.
What am I? The real question is, what are you? A good guy? If you're the good guy, then stop me before I kill again. But you ain't, are you? No. I'm just an expression of your heart's desire.
Bullshit.
Ooh. Come on. Let yourself go.
I love that little exchange. I'd like it more if they had scripted it to last as long as the elevator ride did, but I'll take what I can get. This is a return to the typical beat-em-up style that we've seen in most of the retro levels. However, this time we are going to the left, which means that we're going to get a lot of bugs on the windshield. Our first swing automatically sends them right toward us. Another one of these guys. It's in its invincible animation, but as soon as that ends, you can one-hit KO him with that thing. These things are really just roadblocks. It's kind of annoying, really. There's no particularly strong way to deal with them. Since we're in 2D, we can only take them one at a time. There's an alternate view of those spinning blades we passed earlier. And a glowing button we can't do anything with yet. And some turned off machinery. One last guy in our way. No clue what happened there, but couldn't move until he hit the floor. And that lever seems to have sealed our fate by activating all the death machinery again. Oh, it also opened up the way to advance. That blade hit me without even extending. That's not fair. And these spinning blades, I haven't really showed it off, but they can combo you to death if you get hit even once. That was one hell of an elevator. Oh, platforming section. Probably the easiest one in the game. All you have to do is wait for the tentacles to spike forth and then move along yourself. They're harmless once they've retracted. And one final fodder stands in our way before we can move on.
What is that sound? That sound. Like a heartbeat.
You're not going to be too terribly surprised by what is making that sound.
Living heart.
Well, there's a unique conversation piece.
Yes, floating in the gelatin. I'd love to go in there and beat the hell out of it, but alas, I cannot traverse the gelatin myself. Now we get the first piece of Jen's picture. She's once again gotten into the hair dye. We may not have a chance at the heart, but we got a mouth to deal with.
Get it, bastard!
Of all the autonomous body parts we have to fight in this game, the mouth is by far the easiest. It's just so generous with its hitbox. And it happily kills enemies for us.
You go!
And there we go. We already gave it a stomachache. If we look through the grates in the floor here, the heart is actually below us right now. The room is also full of a wide variety of horrible organic matter. They did a good job setting up that this whole area would be disgusting in the last phase. Now they're really bringing it home. Would like to take a shower in that blood, but oh well. Plenty more blood up ahead.
No, I know you. I know what you really are. I can see the real you.
So what is it you think I really am?
Oh, you're a killer.
No, I'm doing this for Jen.
Oh, come on. It's not just what you do, it's who you are. You've always been a killer. In another life, in another game. You've always known it. Felt that urge? You just tried to bury it. You've been wearing a mask your whole life. It's time to embrace it. This is who you really are.
You're wrong.
Am I?
Trouble in paradise between Rick and the Mask. Seems to be the theme of this level. Another theme is switches. Oh, and gramophones are back. Let's listen in and take care of some business at the same time.
From the Journal of Dr. Henry West. The Master's true forms cannot exist in this world. They require bodies. But what form? What kind of flesh is strong enough to contain the terrible power of their life force? It will be the supreme challenge to build new bodies for them.
I guess that's why this area became infested with organic matter. Not sure why he put a gramophone on a saw table, but And over here, someone seems to have lost a hat. And a very fancy glove over here by the furnace. Fascinating. Someone should really take that tattered rag and clean up the place. Oh well, not my job. Let's see what's behind door number 2. Nope, not taking any chances. He never should have popped out of that gross wad of flesh. Another piece of Jen's picture. That's all we had to do up this way. Surely this next door will allow us some progress. Oh, sorry guys. Didn't mean to bother you. We'll just be moving on. Only one door remains, so of course, this is where our next switch is. Just past this inaccessible room full of what appears to be pulsating eggs. Probably would be wise to head in there and spread some fire, but we simply cannot. And once again, we got a switch and a gramophone.
I remold flesh and resculpt bone. I create things both unnatural and wonderful. I enjoy my work. I've seen hundreds, thousands more likely, die before me on the surgeon's table. Their gods did not answer their babbling prayer. Mine do.
Not quite sure why Dr. West switched from using his reliable journal to record his memoirs, and started recording his memoirs on vinyl of all things. It's a weirdly hipster move for the guy. Now we can operate that weirdly elaborate door. Ooh, and on to the Lucifer room. It's nicely symmetrical. Perhaps Dr. West is an incredibly talented sculptor. Or maybe those are real gargoyles and we're supposed to feed them now. This is a little crowded. Clear out the herd. I broke out before I could impale him. Hardly a problem. Once you reach the halfway point, Terratoid comes in for backup. Sadly, we cannot impale him. Slash does about half his health. He's got a bit of a trick that I'm trying to goad him into. He's not interested in doing it just yet, so I'm gonna ignore him. Get on with my business. It's weird, since I succeeded in that last level's QTE against the Terratoids, I've been getting them 100%. And there's his trick. Holy shit indeed. He can use his friends as projectiles. Only works with the spiky guys, but they are almost always occurring in tandem.
Fuck that thing!
I accidentally killed the victim that I needed. But one remains. That should solve all of our problems. It looks like we knocked his brain out while we were impaling him. Huh, all Lucifer wanted was a barbecue. You'd think Rick would be getting hungry at this point, but he seems to subsist solely on blood these days. Of which there is some inside this weird statue. Something seems to have gone awry in that elevator. Hopefully this industrial elevator will fare better. Yeah, it's got 2 motors. What could possibly go wrong? And of course we're attacked, but
They just keep coming.
these are very weak enemies. The zombie in the middle can cause some trouble. His attacks have wide range and do considerably more damage. See, he didn't even mean to hit the motor there, but he did. In fact, he killed the damn thing. He'll pay for that. Oh, we still got 1 motor. That'll get us where we need to go.
Getting closer. They just keep coming.
Oh, looks like some punk kid hit all the buttons. It's gonna be a few more stops before we're out of here. Fortunately, when there's only 1 motor, you only have to focus on that one side of the room. Makes things a fair bit easier. And also a fair bit riskier. 1 wrong move and you could die.
Yes!
Excellent. One last pointless straggler. Not sure why they did that to him.
Almost there.
And of course the final wave. It's considerably more populated than the previous ones. Really, time is the biggest issue that you gotta manage here. And as such, the Splatter Slash is an excellent way to solve this particular area. That motor is probably on its last hit. But we are now free of enemies. Since we can't break it ourselves, we are home free.
Here we are.
Where is here? Oh, it looks more like a submarine than the previous catacomb area had been. This would presumably be Dr. West's laboratory.
You know what to do, Rick. Trash it.
Within the lab itself, we find a 1950s sci-fi style computer. Apparently, Rick was not a computer science major. And all that really seemed to accomplish was freeing the cryogenically frozen butchers, which were presumably being saved up for the bad future we saw in the meat factory. It also seems like the creeping walls of living flesh have gotten their way in here as well. Unsurprisingly, this is basically just going to be another multi-phase monster bash-a-thon. And we're already on the final phase. It's a group of 4 butchers at the same time. Even though these are repeated enemies from a few levels back, their HP is quite high. So it would take quite a while to beat them traditionally. So, use my old go-to. With 1 remaining, we can start to play around. Charge attacks aren't terribly effective. I'd like to start upgrading our basic light attack combo. There we go. We've got a new move at the end of the 3-hit combo. And also I've extended the rapid jabs combo to infinity. Also bought the unstoppable, which makes us invincible during rolls. It's hardly useful at all against smaller enemies, but we're going to see it used quite a bit on the boss that's coming up.
Let's make a mess. What do you say?
Even as tough as this guy is, he doesn't make too good a target for our new moves. Still goes down too easily to show him off. These guys should make sufficient punching bags. That would have been a good chance to show off the unstoppable. But my timing was a bit off. There was the rapid jabs extension. It was almost a very poorly timed slash. Could have gotten hit right as I was coming out of it.
Well, let's show them what we can do.
This will be much easier as a one-on-one fight. Yeah, now the rapid jabs cycles infinitely. It's a good way to deal a lot of damage if you can find yourself up against a sufficiently slow opponent. And that seems to have taken a real liking to that particular line. It's kind of a shame, because there's at least one more we haven't heard yet.
Getting kind of good at this now. Sound of bodies bursting, feel of flesh tearing in your hands. Ooh, admit it. The power, the strength. You like it, don't you? Don't you?
Yeah. No, no. You're confusing me. I can't think.
Oh, you don't need to think, Rick. That's what you got me for, buddy.
He's starting to lose track of who he was. Times like these, he especially needs a memento from the past. Be it nipply or otherwise.
from the Journal of Dr. Henry West. Host body A's natural strength and size has been increased through surgical augmentation, making it powerful enough to contain the life essence of one of the masters. Of course, the process has driven it violently insane, but living flesh is always easier to work with than dead.
Says the necrobiologist. Oh well, he would know. Here we have some of Dr. West's experiments. A couple have escaped. That one has been reduced to a pair of legs. It's hard to get a particularly good look at them because the glass is so clouded, but fear of the unknown and all. And up ahead we have a glass case with presumably the creature that he was talking about, whose strength and size have been augmented through surgery. That is a hell of a lot of surgery. He's just going to disobey aquarium protocol and tap on the glass ad infinitum, whether or not we're there. And we can get side views of him where he looks almost like an unfinished model. Interesting. We got a gross fanged whale creature. And an arm that seems to have tried to escape of its own volition. And nothing. Yet another look at our horrible elder god friend. It's a good thing his cage is so incredibly strong. Or else he'd have to be our boss fight. Oh, more cryogenic tubes. I hope they don't open up and spill forth some kind of awful horror. No, they didn't. Maybe we're done with awful horrors for this level.
Rick, go back! Go back!
Calm yourself, Lenora.
It's Jennifer, you dick!
Mr. Taylor, it's said that a man's true character is reflected in the fruits of his toil. I think it's time you got to know me a little better.
So much suffering. It's beautiful. Kill it!
One more monstrosity. A skinless cyborg ape. Once again, the game is using Mastodon's Blood and Thunder, but its use is far more appropriate here than it was last time. It is a track from the concept album Leviathan, which is about Herman Melville's classic novel Moby Dick, which itself is a story of a massive monstrous beast tormented into acts of aggression against man. And this boss is massively aggressive. We'll be granted very few opportunities to attack him ourselves. Often he is just spinning and firing damage in every direction. The fast attacks are very useful here. That's why I bought them. He's inexplicably resistant to grabbing at the moment, but only for a moment. And on to the next phase, where he has learned some shockwave attacks. Which means you really got to keep the pressure on him. Splatter Slash not only does a ton of damage, but it buys you several precious moments of invulnerability. Even still, he does tons and tons of damage. Can easily get multiple hits in a row. And any hit could accidentally swing you right off the edge of the map, which is instantly fatal. That short railing around the edge is not nearly enough to keep you within the area. Luckily, I was up against the one part that is blocked from falling to your death, or else I would have done so right there. This last phase is incredibly dangerous, but it goes by very quickly because we have a weapon. So he's got the full area shockwave attack, which has to be jumped over. Sometimes he can follow it up with another shockwave that is much, much harder to dodge. Fortunately, he didn't there. That was his only new move. Now we can execute it.
Feels good, doesn't it?
Rick, what am I going to do with you? You just...
Won't you die? Look at you. Look at what you've become. Reverend death. And for what?
For Jenny.
Oh, my dear boy. You're a monster. A sideshow freak. You think she'll want you now?
Oh, I swear, if you hurt her again...
That's the spirit. On with the show.
You have my word. I'll be a gentleman. To the end.
A lot of foreshadowing about where we're going next in our trip through time and space from Dr. West there, and also a move he stole directly from his brother Herbert. The second achievement there, Nightmare in Arkham, indicates that we have achieved 25% total game completion. And we've also unlocked the Splatter Smash, which is another devastating move we'll be getting a good look at next time.